6. Lucky numbers to focus and get rich on Monday, April 21, 2020, 5 Buddhist teachings. Have you ever felt like Mondays are just chaos in disguise? But what if this Monday, April 21st, came with a hidden pattern? 6 special numbers designed not only to attract wealth, but to center your mind and sharpen your focus. In Buddhism, numbers aren't just digits, they're living energies. They echo karma, intention, and universal flow. And when we learn to align with them, even something as ordinary as a Monday morning can become a doorway to deeper clarity and success. So what if this week, instead of reacting to life, you could move with purpose, guided by 6 sacred frequencies meant just for this moment? Welcome to the Journey of Wisdom, where we take timeless teachings and bring them into today's world. If you're ready to start your week with awareness, abundance, and inner calm, make sure to subscribe. Let's unlock what's waiting for you this Monday. 1. Number 3. Number 3 is not just a numeral. It is a sacred shape of the spiritual world, representing stability, wisdom, and balance through the 3 jewels of Buddhism: the Buddha, the Awakened One, the Dharma, the path of truth, and the Sangha, the supportive community. In the fast-moving world of deadlines, responsibilities, and constant distractions, especially for men balancing careers, family, and personal growth, the number 3 serves as a reminder to ground ourselves in 3 essential pillars. These aren't abstract ideals, they are practical anchors. The Buddha symbolizes your potential for awakening, not just spiritually, but in everyday clarity and self-awareness. The Dhamma speaks to the guidance we seek when faced with tough decisions, those moments at work where we choose between what's easy and what's right, or at home when presence matters more than productivity. And the Sangha reminds us that no man thrives in isolation. Whether through mentorship, friendship, or simply being part of a supportive network, connection gives strength. This triad forms a compass for a meaningful life. Applying this wisdom starts with what Buddhists call right effort, one of the Noble Eightfold Path's core aspects. Begin your week, especially that Monday, April 21st, not by being pulled in 10 directions, but by setting just 3 key priorities. Choose them with intention. 1 for your body, 1 for your work, 1 for your heart. It's the rule of 3, a principle often used in storytelling and decision-making because the mind naturally finds clarity in patterns of 3. Whether it's 3 tasks, 3 goals, or 3 affirmations, this structure simplifies the chaos and strengthens your focus. As the Zen master Shunryu Suzuki said, when you do something, you should burn yourself completely, like a good bonfire, leaving no trace of yourself. By narrowing your focus, you give your full presence, and in doing so, you ignite real change. This number also brings a silent discipline, the type many men seek but don't often speak of. It's not loud, it doesn't show off, but it creates a rhythm in life that leads to mastery, the kind that builds trust, deepens relationships, and nurtures respect from within. If you're in a stage where you're asking, what's next, or is this all there is, the power of 3 invites you to recalibrate. What wisdom are you seeking? What values are you living by? Who are your allies on this journey? These aren't questions for monks on mountains. They're for men in the middle of real life, dealing with bills, expectations, aging parents, and their own health. As the Buddha once said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. The number 3, if truly understood, can help you start turning inward. not as an escape, but as a strategy for strength. As you move into April 21, treat this number not as superstition, but as a code for how to live with intention. Let it guide how you prioritize, how you lead, and how you listen. Don't aim for perfection, aim for harmony. Repeat the affirmation: I embrace harmony and clarity by focusing on the triad of wisdom, ethics, and community. And know that by aligning your actions with this sacred triad, you're not just chasing success, you're building a foundation for lasting inner wealth. 2. Number 6. The number 6 carries a quiet yet deeply transformative power in Buddhist philosophy, rooted in what are known as the 6 paramitas, or 6 perfections. Generosity, morality, patience, diligence, meditation, and wisdom. These aren't just spiritual concepts. They are guiding values meant to be practiced right in the heart of everyday life, especially during moments when you feel scattered, stressed, or stuck. Have you ever paused in the middle of a busy morning and thought, how do I shift my energy today towards something meaningful? If you have, this number is speaking directly to you. In a world where everything feels like it's about speed and competition, the 6 perfections invite you to move differently, to lead with heart, not ego. The Buddha taught that true wealth comes not from what we hold on to, but what we are willing to give away. And that starts simply with intention. This is why a powerful daily practice is to begin each morning by setting 6 clear, positive intentions, one for each of these virtues. These don't have to be grand. Even small decisions like, I'll speak kindly today, or I'll give my full attention to someone who needs it, can completely shift your day and, over time, your life. This number, linked to abundance, isn't about winning the lottery or chasing after material gain. It's about aligning your energy with the natural flow of generosity in the universe. As the affirmation says, I lead with generosity and align my energy with the abundance of the universe. And it's not just ancient monks who echo this. Mystics like Nostradamus also spoke of a universal harmony tied to moral action and mindful living. That idea crosses time and cultures because it speaks to something deep in all of us, a desire to live with purpose, to matter, and to give more than we take. There's a Buddhist story that beautifully illustrates this. Once, a poor man asked the Buddha how he could live a noble life without money, without power, and without title. The Buddha smiled and told him, "Give what you can." The man looked puzzled. "But I have nothing," he said. "You have your time," said the Buddha. "You have kind words. You have a smile. You have the ability to listen without judgment. These are gifts more valuable than gold because they touch the heart." Isn't that true? Don't we all remember the people who were patient with us, who saw us when we felt invisible, who offered understanding instead of criticism? That's abundance. This is how we start shifting from a life of reaction to a life of intention. Meditation, one of the paramitas, doesn't have to mean sitting in silence for hours. It can be 5 minutes of stillness before the day begins, just long enough to breathe, to center, to remember what really matters. And wisdom? That comes not from books, but from doing, from failing, learning, trying again, from understanding that every moment is a chance to move closer to who you really are. The number 6 isn't just lucky, it's a guide. It reminds us that abundance is a byproduct of integrity, of kindness, of showing up in small ways with big presence. So this coming Monday, April 21, as you prepare to start your week, don't just chase results. Choose values. Don't just ask, what can I gain? Ask, How can I serve? Let the 6 paramitas shape your focus and decisions, and you'll notice that what you give comes back to you in ways that are far more meaningful than money. True wealth, as the Buddha said, is contentment. So walk into your day with generosity in your heart, wisdom in your choices, and patience in your pace, and see how the world responds. Now it's your turn. Leave a comment below with just one word you want to focus on this week from the 6 paramitas. To make it easy, type generosity if you're starting with giving from the heart. 3. Number 22. Now, the number 22 is often called the master builder in numerology, and when you look deeper, especially through the lens of Buddhist wisdom, it's easy to see why. This number isn't just about dreaming big, it's about building something that lasts. Something with a foundation rooted in discipline, purpose, and quiet determination. If you've ever felt like you're meant to do more in life, whether that's starting a business, creating something meaningful, or simply becoming a better version of yourself, then the energy of number 22 is a direct call to action. In a world where so many things are instant, messages, meals, entertainment, we've slowly forgotten the beauty of things that take time, mastery, legacy, peace. These things are not rushed. Just like building a temple, they require a strong foundation and patient hands. The Buddhist path reminds us of this truth through one powerful word: perseverance. Enlightenment, in its purest form, is not a lightning bolt. It is a steady walk through the forest, one mindful step at a time. And that's the spirit of the number 22. If you're someone who has ideas, goals, or even a quiet longing for something more in life, now is the time to stop doubting and start doing. But not in a frantic way. The teaching here is, set your sights on the future, but come back to the present to do the work. What small thing can you do today that moves you just 1 inch closer to your dream? Is it making a plan? Is it letting go of a distraction? Or maybe it's simply keeping a promise you made to yourself. As the Buddha said, a jug fills drop by drop. That's exactly how great lives are built. Not by giant leaps, but by consistent, intentional actions. This is why a practice tied to number 22 is so important, because it's not just about goal setting, it's about breaking big visions into small, achievable steps, and having the discipline to show up even when it's hard, even when no one is clapping for you yet. That's where real transformation happens. And I'll be honest, it's not glamorous. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It's staying focused when your mind wants to wander. It's being patient with progress that feels invisible. But if you've ever felt lost or behind, take heart, because this path isn't about speed, it's about alignment. And here's something personal. I've seen again and again how people change their lives not through miracles, but through structure and patience. A man in his 50s once told me that for years he felt like he had missed his chance. Career paths faded, relationships strained, energy low. But he started small. He made his bed every morning. He took a daily walk. He created a vision board, not to fantasize, but to focus. And in less than a year, not only did his health improve, but he also launched a project that had lived in his heart for decades. Why? Because he stopped waiting and started building, slowly, steadily, like a master builder. What dream have you put on the shelf? What legacy do you want to leave behind? And more importantly, what are you doing today that moves you toward it? Let's not forget that discipline isn't just restriction, it's freedom in disguise. When your days have structure, your mind finds peace. When your actions align with your values, life feels lighter. And that's the power of number 22. It shows you that structure isn't your enemy, it's your path to meaning. As you step into Monday, April 21, let this number guide your mindset. 4. Number 5. Next, the number 5 carries an energy that many of us overlook, especially in the routine-driven lives we tend to lead as men between 30 and 65, caught between responsibilities, ambition, and the quiet pull for something deeper. But in Buddhism, the number 5 is anything but ordinary. It stands as a bridge between spiritual awareness and real-life change. It reflects the 5 precepts, the ethical foundation of daily life. Do not kill, steal, lie, commit sexual misconduct, or consume intoxicants irresponsibly. These aren't just religious rules. They're guides for maintaining balance and integrity in a world that often encourages the opposite. Then there are the 5 aggregates: skandhas, form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness, reminding us that who we think we are is constantly shifting, shaped by both what we experience and how we respond. And perhaps most inspiring of all, number 5 is tied to the 5 strengths in Buddhist teaching: faith, energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. These are inner tools every man needs, especially when facing change, loss, uncertainty, or the nagging feeling of there must be more to life than this. The beauty of the number 5 is that it doesn't ask you to be perfect, it asks you to grow. In numerology, 5 represents freedom, adaptability, and transformation. It's the number that whispers, break the pattern, try something new. And let's be honest, how often do you feel stuck in cycles that no longer serve you? Whether it's in your career, your habits, your relationships, or even the way you speak to yourself, number 5 invites you to break the mold, not recklessly, but with awareness. As the Buddha said, to understand everything is to forgive everything. And perhaps that starts with understanding yourself more deeply, through new experiences and thoughtful reflection. There's a well-known Buddhist story of a monk who was afraid of meditating in the dark forest. His teacher told him, "That fear is your gateway, go toward it," and so he did. What he discovered wasn't monsters, but his own mind, and a surprising strength he never knew he had. In the same way, stepping out of your comfort zone, taking a new class, having a tough conversation, or even waking up earlier to reflect, can awaken you to parts of yourself that have been asleep for years. To live the energy of the number 5 is to commit to change, not for the sake of chaos, but for the sake of depth. A practical way to honor this is by setting 5 daily intentions. These intentions don't need to be big, they need to be sincere. Something like, today, I'll be present with my kids, or I'll walk for 10 minutes without my phone, or I'll call that friend I keep postponing. Over time, these small acts open new paths, build confidence, and allow life to feel more alive. Because the truth is, stagnation is where joy goes to die, and number 5 knows that. It teaches us that transformation doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it's just about being willing to try something different, even when it's uncomfortable. The only real failure in life is not to be true to the best one knows, said the Buddha. So, what's one thing you can do today to honor that call? The number 5 is not here to disrupt you, it's here to awaken you. Let it remind you that this life is still unfolding, still full of surprises, and that you, too, are still becoming. 5. Number 7. The number 7 is often called a mystical number, and for good reason. Across cultures and beliefs, it shows up where depth, wisdom, and inner clarity are needed most. But in Buddhism, its meaning runs even deeper. It reflects the 7 factors of enlightenment: mindfulness, investigation, energy, joy, tranquility, concentration, and equanimity. These aren't just nice words for monks in silence. They are practical tools, especially for those of us navigating the modern world filled with pressure, noise, and constant distraction. The number 7 invites you to do just that, to stop running and start listening. And I say this directly to you, especially if you're a man in that season of life where you've achieved a lot but still feel something is missing. This number isn't telling you to abandon everything and sit under a tree. It's telling you to go deeper into what already exists in your life and start paying attention to what truly matters. The path of the number 7 is about seeking truth, not outside, but within. And the beauty is, this truth-seeking has a guide in Buddhist teaching. There's a well-known story where the Buddha was asked by a man what he had gained from all his meditation. The man expected a list of mystical powers or divine insight. But the Buddha calmly replied, "I have gained nothing." The man was stunned. The Buddha continued, "However, let me tell you what I have lost: anger, anxiety, fear, insecurity." This story reminds us that real spiritual progress is not about gaining something new, but removing what no longer serves us, layer by layer, like peeling an onion, to get to the heart. In your own life, what might you need to release in order to truly understand yourself better? Are there beliefs, habits, or emotional patterns holding you back from clarity and peace? And if so, what would happen if you set aside even just a little time each week to reflect on that? That's where the practical side of this number comes in. Dedicate just one day or even 1 hour a week to focus on these 7 factors. Not all at once, but slowly, gently. Start with mindfulness. Maybe during your morning coffee or drive to work, simply become aware of your breath, your thoughts, your surroundings. Then begin to investigate. What thoughts arise most? Where do your emotions get stuck? Gradually bring in energy. Renew your efforts in something that lights you up. Then joy. Yes, joy matters. Find the little things that lift your spirit: tranquility, concentration, and finally equanimity. The ability to remain calm and steady no matter what life throws at you. These 7 qualities aren't traits you're either born with or not. They are mental muscles, and like anything worth having, they grow with practice. The number 7 doesn't offer quick wins, it offers something better. Clarity and spiritual insight that leads to peace, better decisions, and a sense of meaning that no amount of money can buy. And isn't that what so many of us are quietly searching for? A way to feel connected again, not just to the world, but to ourselves? As the Buddha said, just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life. Embracing the energy of number 7, you're not running away from life. You're learning how to show up to it fully. The lesson is simple. Go within, pay attention, and let insight guide your outer actions. Because the more you know yourself, the freer you become. And in that freedom lies the richest form of success. If today's message spoke to you, drop a quick comment below with the word mindfulness to show you're ready to start tuning in and living with deeper awareness. Number 4. The number 4 though often seen as simple or even rigid, holds deep spiritual significance, especially in Buddhist teachings, and is one of the most grounding and powerful numbers you can align with in your daily life. It represents the Four Noble Truths, which are at the very heart of the Buddha's wisdom: that suffering exists, that it has a cause, that it can end, and that there's a path leading to that end. This isn't abstract philosophy, this is a roadmap for living, especially for those of us walking through the noise and chaos of modern life. Whether you're in your 30s or your 60s, navigating family, career, or even your own inner doubts, the number 4 reminds you that peace doesn't come from control, it comes from clarity and structure. And structure isn't about being rigid, it's about building something solid, like the 4 foundations of mindfulness, which teach us to observe the body, feelings, thoughts, and mental patterns with awareness. In numerology, the number 4 is linked with stability, practicality, and discipline. 3 things that can transform your life if applied with purpose. And honestly, they're exactly what most men today are craving beneath the surface. When life feels like it's spinning too fast, or when success feels hollow, it's usually because we've lost our grounding. That's why number 4 encourages us to establish 4 key routines that act like pillars. Maybe it's meditation to center the mind, exercise to strengthen the body, mindful eating to fuel with intention, and continuous learning to keep the spirit alive. And I speak to you not from theory, but from experience. These small, repeated actions become the quiet rituals that carry you through uncertainty. There's a Buddhist teaching that says, as rain falls, drop by drop, the bucket is filled. That's how transformation happens, not all at once, but one consistent step at a time. A Buddhist story tells of a student who kept asking his master for the secrets to peace and enlightenment. The master replied, "Chop wood, carry water." The student didn't understand, thinking it was too ordinary. But the master smiled, because he knew the truth. It's the daily discipline, the things we overlook, that shape the deepest change. Number 4 invites you to rebuild, not because you're broken, but because you're ready for something stronger, steadier, more aligned. As the Buddha said, a disciplined mind brings happiness, and that discipline starts with how we show up each day. So as you prepare for Monday, April 21, take this number seriously, not as a superstition, but as a signal. A reminder that if you want wealth, peace, or purpose, you need a base to build it on. Reflect on your 4 noble truths. Check in with the 4 foundations of your mindfulness. Set 4 routines that ground you in your goals. Because when your inner world is steady, your outer world becomes easier to navigate. The message of number 4 is simple but powerful. Build from the ground up, and everything else will follow. 7. Sacred integration, a spiritual roadmap. When we talk about lucky numbers like 3, 6, 22, 4, 5, and 7, especially in the context of Monday, April 21, 2025, we're not just referring to digits that bring you financial luck or surface-level gains. We're pointing to a deeper spiritual roadmap, a kind of sacred integration that aligns your actions with the inner wisdom that often gets drowned out by noise, pressure, and modern chaos. These numbers, when brought together, each carry unique qualities. Clarity from the power of 3 and its balance through the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Generosity from 6 and its reminder of the 6 paramitas, like compassion, ethical conduct, and mindful giving. Discipline and long-term vision from 22, the master builder, who reminds us that lasting success comes not from quick wins, but from structure and spiritual alignment. Groundedness from the number 4, and its embodiment of the 4 noble truths and the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Transformation and adaptability from the number 5, and the powerful message of embracing change driven by intention. And finally, the seeking spirit of 7, which leads us into deep reflection through the 7 factors of enlightenment: mindfulness, investigation, joy, energy, tranquility, concentration, and equanimity. These aren't abstract ideas. They're actionable energies that shape how you live, lead, and grow in this world. These numbers offer a blueprint, not a prediction, a chance to design a life that aligns with both your worldly responsibilities and your inner calling. In Buddhist thought, numbers aren't random. They're symbolic, energetic tools that show up as reminders of where to focus. The Buddha himself taught in structured, number-based teachings for this reason, to give the mind a way to hold truth with clarity. He once said, "Just as the great ocean has one taste, the taste of salt, so too does my teaching have one taste, the taste of freedom." Each of these numbers points toward that freedom. Whether it's the freedom that comes from generosity or the quiet peace born from steady discipline, the message is clear. Your outer world will never feel right if your inner world is in chaos. And that's where the sacred integration of these 6 numbers becomes not only meaningful, but essential, especially for men in their 30s to 60s, who are often pulled between building a legacy and finding personal peace. This is the age where questions become louder. Am I fulfilled? Is this the life I truly want? What will I leave behind? These numbers help you begin answering those questions, not with pressure, but with presence. So here's how you bring it all together. Start by setting an intention for each quality: clarity, generosity, mindfulness, intuition, completion, and spiritual discipline, and tie them into your week with simple, consistent action. Monday doesn't have to be a day of stress. It can become a day of alignment. Are you willing to try something different this time, to wake up not with dread, but with purpose? The truth is, these numbers become lucky when they are lived. They're not magic. They're mirrors, showing you what's already possible if you're willing to slow down, look inward, and act from that place of stillness and strength. Because at the end of the day, wealth means nothing without peace. Success feels empty without values, and progress is hollow without purpose. Let this spiritual roadmap not just guide your Monday, but reshape the way you walk through life. From effort to ease, from reaction to wisdom, from chasing more to becoming whole. 8. Tips to manifest abundance. When it comes to manifesting abundance, whether in wealth, peace of mind, or personal fulfillment, it's not just about what you want, but about how you live. These 6 sacred numbers we've explored aren't random or decorative. They're tools, deeply woven into both Buddhist wisdom and practical life. So how do you actually apply them? Let's walk through 5 grounded, simple takeaways that can help you turn intention into transformation, starting right now. First, focus on your goals, but don't just make a long to-do list. Ask yourself, what truly matters this week? Let these numbers guide your priorities. Use the clarity of 3, the generosity of 6, the vision of 22, the foundation of 4, the adaptability of 5, and the spiritual depth of 7 to filter what deserves your energy. This is about doing less, but doing it better. Second, embrace balance and generosity, because real abundance doesn't come from hoarding, it begins with giving. There's a story from the Buddha's life that captures this beautifully. Once, a poor man came to the Buddha, ashamed he had nothing to offer. The Buddha told him, "Even a kind smile, a thoughtful word, or your time is a gift. Generosity isn't about having more, it's about giving from where you are. And ironically, the more you give, the more life tends to give back." Moving forward, trust the process. We live in a world addicted to speed and instant results, but Buddhist teachings remind us that growth unfolds in its own rhythm. A seed doesn't bloom overnight. As the Dhammapada says, "As a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, wise people falter not amidst blame and praise." So if you're doing the work and not seeing immediate results, don't give up. Lean in. Abundance grows where patience lives. The fourth takeaway is to create a daily ritual that keeps your mind and energy aligned. Whether it's 5 minutes of meditation, a quiet journal session in the morning, or simply sitting in stillness with your breath, these moments are where clarity is born. Ritual creates rhythm, and rhythm brings order to chaos. And finally, revisit your intentions every morning. Before you pick up your phone or get pulled into other people's priorities, ask yourself, what kind of energy do I want to carry today? These 6 numbers are like coordinates, helping you stay centered, aware, and purpose-driven. So, as a man navigating work, relationships, health, and the quiet questions you may not say out loud, are you building your days with purpose or just getting through them? These teachings are not here to complicate your life. They're here to simplify it, to help you reconnect with what truly matters. When you take these 5 simple practices and combine them with spiritual awareness, the idea of luck transforms into a path you walk every day with intention, with focus, and with heart. Let these steps be your anchor as you enter Monday, April 21, and every day after. Because in the end, abundance isn't something you wait for, it's something you practice. As we close today's journey through the 6 lucky numbers to help you focus and invite abundance on Monday, April 21, 2025, remember this: whether you're an Aquarius or simply someone seeking more peace, purpose, and prosperity, this moment is your opportunity. Align your actions with intention, trust the rhythm of the universe, and stay grounded in gratitude. Repeat this final affirmation with me. I align my intentions with cosmic wisdom and embrace abundance with gratitude. And let's carry the words of the Buddha in our hearts. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. If today's message brought you clarity or encouragement, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs this insight, and subscribe to the Journey of Wisdom. And make sure to turn on notifications so you never miss our next offering of spiritual guidance. Thank you for walking this path with us. And until next time, stay present, stay open, and stay aligned.